Good morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you. Well, we have a lot of royal family business, and then we have some karma. If you haven't heard what happened to Omid, we're going to cover that. We have some other stuff. You know, I'm telling you, people, karma is a thing. It really is. Oh, my God. All right, let's jump in because there's a lot to cover here. Let's go. We're going to start off with King Charles. He was at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He was with Phoebe Gettr, I believe is how you say it. She is the captain of Britain's world flag football team. And so Charles was taught how to throw an American football. He was also with, I believe it's called Effie Obada, who is a British Nigerian defensive end who played for the Washington Commanders for the last 3 years. This was going on because of a community event sponsored by the Premier League and the NFL. It's called the Huddle Project. The Spurs and the NFL sponsor this Huddle Project, which helps children throughout the Tottenham area. I'm telling you, the king has style. Look at him. He's throwing with one hand in his pocket. He doesn't even take his hand out of his pocket to throw the football. I think that's just hilarious. But it looks like he was having a good time. Looks like he got a good reception from everybody. I'm sure they gifted him a football. While he was there in the stadium, he was greeted by and met a gentleman who then thanked him because he went through the King's Trust. He talked about how the King's Trust really helped him in his life and how well he's doing. I'm sure that those are the kinds of conversations that really bolster King Charles. Moving on. Let's move on to Camilla. On the 12th, she visited the Unicorn Theater in, I think it's pronounced Southwark. She looked absolutely gorgeous, and the theater there is focused on younger audiences. She was there to launch the creative hub at the Unicorn Theater, which prides itself on producing inspiring and invigorating work for children and teenager. Now, she met with the writer and former children's laureate Malorie Blackman while she was there as well. The Queen has been the patron there since 2005. She attended a workshop for children from a local primary school to create an original poem to remember and celebrate the lost animals of the British Isles. Now, while the Queen was there meeting the children, she ran into an old friend of hers. His name is Rory Kinnear, I believe is how you say it. He's an actor there at the theater. And they were talking, and she was reminiscing about how she used to take secret theater trips with her granddaughter. How cool is that? So she just was able to sneak in and sneak out without anybody knowing it. The Queen later on was present at what they're calling a quote-unquote in-conversation event where she saw Laureate Malorie Blackman discussed the theater's current adaptation of her 1997 book, Pig Heart Boy. And she embraced her when it was over and shook hands with the other members of the Unicorn team. Now, they actually made a big point of making sure that everybody knew that Queen Camilla had her gloves on when she was with the children, and it wasn't until much later on that she took her gloves off. It's my understanding that it's very cold there. I don't see why they would go out of their way to mention that, but okay, she took off her gloves, or she wore her gloves for part of it. Whatever. They gave her some absolutely gorgeous flowers, and off she went. I absolutely love it. Let's move on to William. He held an investiture ceremony at Windsor Castle, and the first one up was Sir Andrew Cook from Liverpool. He was made a Knight Bachelor for services to policing and to public service. He is a chief inspector and works for the fire and rescue services. And after him, you had Paralympic athlete Sabrina Fortune. She was made a member of the Order of the British Empire for services to athletics. Congratulations to both of you. Sticking with Prince William, we already know he's not going to the BAFTAs with Princess Catherine. He is president of the BAFTAs, by the way. So he went to a specialist sixth form college in North London where 900 students learn every aspect of film and television production. He went on a tour of the school and he saw the costume department where costumes were created for a film called Melamania, which is set in a future where music is banned. He was shown a costume which included steampunk aspects, they said. They asked him if it's something he would wear, and he was like, Saturday night? Why not? Anyway, he went outside and took part in some of the filming of that show. I wonder if that's something that I could see later. He was shown hair and makeup rooms where students learned prosthetics and special effects, all kinds of really cool stuff. That's the kind of school that you want to go to. Totally fabulous. The thing that I think is so cool is that particular academy is the only one of its kind in the country. How cool is that? I mean, I love that. Now, they asked one of the students how William's filming skills were, and she said, actually, it was kind of amazing. I was scared watching on the monitors, but he did very smooth, nice pans. Good job. Way to go, William. Next up, I just saw this, so I want to put it up. It appears that while Edward was in India, he went to a school educational conference where Edward went to visit to open the event. It looks like there were more than 200 schools and educational institutions present. Good for him. And sticking with Edward, he was at the Branch. Now, this is a charity that gives access to support services and helps older and younger people and women affected by domestic abuse. Edward took a tour of the facility. Now, this place was established in 2015, and it was working with the Christians Against Poverty group to help local families with their debt and financial problems. But after it was determined that there was a lot of lack of services available covering a lot of issues for the residents, then it kind of evolved into what it is. People were missing hospital appointments and, employment issues. So it was pretty cool. Edward met with a lot of people. He got to see a cooking class. And then, of course, before he left, he unveiled a fabulous plaque. Good for him. All right, before we get into the royal stuff, a lot of people came on my wall yesterday and went, Meghan was forced. I heard it on several channels. She had to take down all the Invictus stuff off her Instagram. Just so you know, the stuff called stories where you press her profile picture, those disappear in 24 hours. But if you look at what she's got listed, there is an Instagram thing right there from Invictus. Nobody made her remove it. So if that's not what you're talking about, you guys need to be more specific because I don't see where she was made to remove anything. All right, let's move on. Oh my goodness, Scooby-Doo. Okay, he started a publishing company called Me You Limited, and it was closed down after there was a compulsory strike-off notice in December of 2024. Now, Omid started this company in 2016. He's always been the sole director, and it has now been dissolved. That means they don't have a legal owner, and their bank account is frozen, and all assets are passed on to the crown. Oh, now December's strike-off notice was the fourth one issued against Omid. The first one was back in 2022. The company managed to stop being shut down by filing 3 sets of annual accounts in a single day in April of that year. Remember, he wrote Finding Freedom and Endgame and insists that he has never interviewed Harry and Meghan, but finally admitted that he does have mutual friends with them, and so that helped in getting details and information. Let's not forget, this man also swore in a court of law that Harry and Meghan did not help with his book Finding Freedom, and of course we found out later on that that was a lie. Now, we know that his latest business venture is this TV project called Royal Spin, which was sold to Universal TV for development, and he's now living in California. Yeah, whatever. Personally, I would not believe anything that comes out of this man's mouth because he also said he's never socialized with Meghan Markle, and then of course this picture popped up clearly showing that he has. I gotta wonder what's going on in this man's head because he really was a good-looking guy, and look what he did to himself. Like, his nose is collapsing, his eyes look swollen, and in this last picture with that hair, I'm sorry, you guys know I don't usually shame people, but he looks like a frickin' poodle. All right, now this next story really got me. They're saying that King Charles will never take the royal titles away from Harry and Meghan because he doesn't want to humiliate them, even with all the damage that they have done to the royal family since they quit in 2020, even after all the hurt they caused the Queen and the King. And when I say king and queen, I'm talking about Elizabeth and Philip, not Charles and Camilla. Listen, she's so entrenched in the royal thing. Remember, she has her Dior bag with her initials in it. Remember, just like Diana had one of those. And then this picture came out of Harry and some woman at his house, and if you zoom in, they've got the royal monogram on the mat going into the house. How about when they were in Harlem, she's got her garment bag with her royal cipher on it? How about the fact that she's continually using stationery with the royal cipher on it, even though years earlier they left the royal family? How about this last trip to Invictus? She's wearing a pinky ring with the royal cipher on it. She is so hanging on to those titles. It wouldn't matter even if Charles removed them. She's not letting go. Now, moving on, we know that Harry throws Diana's name out there every chance he gets. Grammy Diana. Supposedly, Archie's first word was Grammy Diana. Then he changed it to crocodile, right? Well, now, every time Meghan wears something that, looks like something Diana wore, she's doing it to pay tribute to Diana. I'm sorry, I don't believe that's the case. I want you to remember that Meghan Markle told everybody that she was not wearing color because the royal family made her blend in. And also, they made her dress like Diana. But once again, every picture that you're looking at right now is bland beige colors and her dressing and copying Diana since they left the royal family. So she lied about the palace forcing her to dress like Diana, and she lied about the palace forcing her to wear black, brown, white, beige, all of these colors. And it's because of her wearing these colors that people actually questioned her claim that the royals made her wear neutrals. Because even at this Invictus game, when you look at all of her clothing, black sweater and pants, white jacket, completely gray, monotone, outfit, black jacket, white shirt. Here she is. I don't even know what this event was. She's wearing a gray jacket. She wore on one day a white, sleeveless shirt with white pants. The point is, her whole thing about the royal family forced this and forced that is completely untrue. And she's pointed that out to us time and time again. Why should we believe her statements when she's proven to us over and over again that those statements are lies? It didn't take long. Mainstream media has picked up on the fact that Meghan used the Invictus Games like a runway. All she did was flash designer clothing, cling on to Harry. They're saying she just can't help herself, and she used this appearance to present herself for her own project. They said she is the worst PR crisis gift that just keeps on giving. They noticed, as I noticed and reported to you, that she is putting herself everywhere and was literally in every shot that Harry was in. She couldn't leave Harry alone. And also, we've hardly heard anything about the athletes. We don't know who any of them are. It's really just been the Meghan show. Now, this article alleges that Meghan was seen filming for her Netflix show while she was at the games in Canada. She was taking some pictures herself. She was videoing all of it. And then she's got someone behind her videoing her doing it. And they're claiming that that wasn't just for her Instagram, but it was also for her Netflix TV show. So she was using this, as an opportunity to present herself, and it was distracting away from the games. They also noted Harry did not look happy. Now, just because she went home, don't think she's not going to still try to steal the attention. She put this up. What's with this big bowl of fruit? This is a whole Instagram thing. She put the goodies from Canada on a cutting board. Everything is artfully displayed because don't you know she's an influencer? And finally, we all know that Meghan and Harry gave $250,000 to an organization run by ex-President Biden's daughter. And the think tank that's been trying to get Harry's visa, Niall Gardner, for the Heritage Foundation, says that needs to be very seriously looked at. The donation was made during the 23-24 tax year. It was when everybody said they were trying to find a way into the Biden family inner circle. They even, remember, wanted to ride back on Air Force One after Queen Elizabeth's funeral, and the White House said no because the optics would be really bad. It was also reported that they tried to get Jill Biden to attend the Invictus games, and she turned them down flat out because she didn't want to upset King Charles. Mr. Gardner also said that Archewell gave some support to an initiative called Press Forward, which is funding news organizations around the United States, and he thinks that needs looking into as well, which I completely agree. As to the Biden's daughter's donation, this was to a women's wellness space, and it was located in their impact report. People magazine reported that the space is closely aligned with Meghan's mission to elevate mental health. Sorry, guys. I think while they're busy looking at Harry's visa, I think somebody really does need to audit all the donations that they made. And we're also aware that there's a lot of money missing. Don't forget that millions were missing. And we heard that it would be on the next tax return. And then the tax return came out and the money wasn't there. So, yeah, no. There's something shady. There's always something shady. Everybody they deal with, it's shady. Oh my goodness, you guys know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell. Don't forget to leave those comments and make them good. And then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my physical address, my Amazon wish list, and the link to my second channel, The Secret Life of Sue Smith. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.